Yeah, good morning and welcome. It's Monday, already June the 16th. Can we believe this? Halfway through the month, it is flying. Before long, we'll be celebrating the 4th of July, won't we? Hope your morning is treating you well. We started out at 69. We're headed for a high of about 92, but the heat index is going to be strong. 97 is what we're expected. Now, there are rain chances. It will happen this afternoon, somewhere around 3 o'clock. Should rain until probably 9:30 tonight. So we've got a 60% chance of thunderstorms that will most likely hold off into the afternoon. We should see some sunshine before then, but don't let it fool you. Rain is coming, and with that, usually some accidents occur. So we want you to be extra careful today as you begin your day. All right, we're going to be back in a few moments to tell you all about what's going on nationwide, a few things that are concerning. There's no doubt about it. We'll talk about those. Plus, we'll get into local headlines coming up at 7 a.m. Don't forget about that. We'll learn all this stuff together. All that's on the way. Right now, we go to Collinsville for our good word of the day. Let's go see what Brother Ben has for us.
Well, since 1874, Christians have been singing this tune based on today's text in Philippians 2, 14 and 15. And over the years, our brothers and sisters have loved these lyrics and melody. Sing them over again to me, wonderful words of life. Let me more of their beauty see, wonderful words of life and beauty. Teach me faith and duty, beautiful words, wonderful words of life. Beautiful words, wonderful words of life. Indeed, y'all, the Bible's full of words of life because it is the word of life. Its teachings lead us out of darkness and death into light and life everlasting through Jesus Christ. Therefore, Apostle Paul encourages us in Philippians 2 to hold fast the word of life so that in the day of Christ, I'll have no reason to boast because I did not run in vain nor labor in vain. Beloved, we must hold fast to the Bible. The Bible's where truth is found. It's where we learn to see the world as God sees it, which is how it really is. It's where we learn what's right and wrong and how we should live in light of that. It's where we learn our need for a Savior and how to be saved. Look, to hold the Bible loosely or to let it go completely will bring about nothing good. It will progressively lead to our spiritual decay and even to our demise. You probably know somebody right now who's experiencing this sad reality because they didn't hold fast to the word of life. But may that never be said of you. May you long to hear the words of life over and over again. May they be beautiful and wonderful to you. May you cling to them with all your life, like your life depends on it. Because in reality, it does. Change begins in you.
The Change Begins in You is brought to you in part by Piggly Wiggly of Collinsville, Patrick Allen Companies, Mitchell Tire and Wrecker in Collinsville, and Mowdy Cabinetry. And welcome back. I hope you enjoyed that message. Let's see as we get this morning going. Joe Collins joining us from Uptown Zero. Good morning there. Cheryl, now I didn't know this as you put a comment there. Is Jimmy Swaggart not doing well? I haven't heard that. So fill us in on what's going on with Jimmy. I didn't know about that. Nancy, good morning. Good to see you joining us as well. So many of you. Beth is up. Oh, I see. Robin, morning there. Hope each of you are having a good morning there, no matter where you're watching us from all portions of the U.S. of A. As we begin this, good morning, America. Do you know the show I'm talking about? Well, they've done their last show from Times Square. They're going to be moving to a new location after 26 years. Lots of reasons why. Is it the money of what it costs to be on Times Square? Probably has a lot to do with it, as they'll be going to a new studio. Now, I don't know the exact wording for this, but I have heard of it before. Although if you're standing there, you would probably shake your head in disbelief. On a golf course last week, out of the clear blue sky, a hammerhead shark fell. It was about yay long and fell in the golf course. People stared, and yet it did come from the sky. I've read about this to where fish, and I forget what the term is called when they're scooped up and they're thrown up into the air and then they're thrown somewhere. Happened in South Carolina. It's not something you see every day, and there's a name for it. I've heard of the fish and whatnot being thrown about on highways. Kind of scary if you're standing there, but it did happen, and it's not made up, but different. I'll try to figure out what the word for that is later. England, we need to touch base on this. This happened in 2019. It was valued insurance-wise at $6 million. I think the cost of it at the time was, you ever heard that term of worth your weight in gold? Well, it was worth a little bit more. A solid gold toilet was on display. Men broke in and stole it, and it was chopped up and melted. They have been caught after, 6 years? They've been brought to justice. So $6.4 million is what it was insured for. Off to jail they will go. I'm not sure what gave them away, but we'll leave it at that. And again, I don't know everything about this because I'm not Catholic, but I'm sure a lot of you who watch are Catholic, as we see that the first millennial saint will be unveiled September the 7th. They've postponed that, the new pope says, until September the 7th. He was young. Carlo Actus, if I'm pronouncing his name correctly. He's bringing a lot of younger people to the church, and he will be dubbed a saint September the 7th. They released what Trump made last year. Pretty good amount of money. He earned $600 million in 24, and he made $57 million from crypto. My, oh my, oh my. Good salary, isn't it? Not bad at all. Never. We often talk about what people do on vacations and where they go and what they do. Colorado is where we go. A couple of guys scaled it as they were getting it. It was the second highest mountain, I think within 200 feet of being the tallest in Colorado. They got nearly to the top, and both were struck by lightning. They had to be rescued by helicopters. I want to say this is the highest elevation they've ever rescued anyone with a helicopter. One's already been released from the hospital. The other, pretty rough there. Lightning doesn't play. I've seen it locally and what it could do to someone. My, oh my, oh my. Over the weekend on Saturday, the Texas Capitol had to be evacuated over a threat. Everything turned out okay, but they had a suspect that was threatening. It was cleared out to be on the safe side. Everybody was okay. Here's something that is good, and you have to recognize people when they do good things. And we do that with Taylor Swift this morning. She went to Florida, and she visited the Joe DiMaggio Hospital, Children's Hospital. Went through, took pictures with kids, and gave autographed books to them. That was sweet. She didn't have to do that, and gave a lot of kids of encouragement. Too many times stars forget to do things like that, and we have to commend her for doing that. Special, and kids enjoy that. If you're a collector, and it's amazing as you see what people collect, whether it's baseball cards, Hot Wheel cars, and antiques, we all do that. But occasionally people get into collecting things from movies. I don't know what this stuff will go for, but it's headed to the auction block. What would you pay? And it was originally given, I think, to Princess Diana, Prince Charles, Indiana, and the Lost Crusade. You remember the whip? That was given, and she gave it to someone else later. It is going up for auction. Several things. Something from Citizen Kane is going to be auctioned off. Star Wars memorabilia. But what is that whip worth? I don't know. Since she had her hands on it, I think it would be worth a little bit more. Arnold Vacation at Dunn's Falls. I feel your pain. I feel your pain on that. An Afghan man has pled guilty for planning an Election Day attack. I don't know if y'all remember that when he was arrested. Nothing happened. They stopped it in time. He faces at least 29 to 35 years in prison for what he was planning. There's bad people out there. Never forget that. San Antonio, the death toll has risen to 13 people. All those who have been listed missing have been found at this point. San Antonio, that was a lot of water went through there as severe storms passed through. California, several people were injured, including a child. I want to say he was 13 or 14 when a car drove through Inglewood, California, there on the sidewalks. They're still investigating. They don't know whether it was on purpose or if it was an accident. We'll let you know as we learn more about that. That was one of the big stories over the weekend. South Carolina. It's not often that you hear someone on death row that is serving for 2 deaths, but, well, he was. He was put to death over the weekend. Friday night at 6:34 p.m., he was pronounced deceased. Stephen Stanko, I believe is how you pronounce his name. What did he do? He was in jail for killing his best friend. He was also in jail for killing his girlfriend that he choked to death while he was raping her daughter. As you can tell, I have no sympathy for anyone like that. 6:34 Friday afternoon, he met his maker. As we get into statistics, and I don't do a lot of statistics, but this is interesting. In 1970, can you imagine what the average age of a mother was? About 21 years old. 2025, the average age of a mother is 30 now, as people wait a little bit longer to have children, plan better. I didn't know that. People often wait just a wee bit longer than they used to, as we see that. West Virginia, boy, they've had some heavy rains, as we talked about what went on in San Antonio. We had a building collapse in West Virginia from flash flooding. It's tough there in West Virginia. I don't know when the last time you were there. Stuff like this, I'm sure it existed, but it's never been at the top of mind. Some people love going to museums to watch this. I forget what the movie was that portrayed all of this stuff. A new dinosaur species has been discovered. It's related to the T-Rex has been discovered. It's not at the top of my vacation list, but a lot of you love to see stuff like that. I'll think of what that show was before long there. Robin said she was a mother at 16. Some were. They keep getting pushed and pushed and pushed in these years. Not quite. Barcelona, Spain. You know where I'm talking about? Apparently, they're upset at tourists for being there. They've been shooting water pistols at tourists. Remember, be careful not to strike the hand that feeds you. Tourists bring a lot to those cities. Trump has arrived at the G7 summit in Canada. We should hear more about that. And the big news over the weekend, I'm sure by now you're hearing this. We posted it earlier this morning. The suspect in the Minnesota killings has been arrested. He was crawling on his belly in a field near his home, near his farm is the way it was listed. He's been arrested. Vance Boatler. And if you are unaware of what I'm talking about, over the weekend, a man dressed as a police officer knocked on a lawmaker's door. She was a Minnesota senator. Knocked on the door. When she opened, her and her husband both were shot and killed. He left there, went to another lawmaker's home, was about to do the same thing. They were wounded. Police figured it out, and the heavy response stopped him. He had a manifesto. He had more on his list. Clever, had a mask on, driving a police car. Evil, evil, evil. We'll talk a little bit more about that coming up at the top of the hour as we get into the morning show. I hope you'll join us for that. Crawling. My, my, my. We had 4 detainees escape a ICE prison over the weekend. 2 of them have been caught. New Jersey is where that all happened on Friday afternoon. David Beckham, y'all know who I'm talking about? He was a big soccer player. He has been knighted in England. Regardless of what you think, that's a big honor. Even Elton John was knighted. I'm proud for him. That's probably one of the best distinctions you can have done in England. So congratulations to him. Do you remember the nightclub in the Dominican Republic that the roof collapsed last year? It killed, if I'm not mistaken, somewhere around 235 people to 236 people. The guy that owned the nightclub is a very rich businessman in the neighborhood. He owns radio stations and businesses and businesses and businesses. He has not been charged, but he has been taken into custody as police are interviewing possibly charges coming on this. 236 souls. Y'all remember that, don't you? The roof collapsed on them in a private nightclub. It never ceases to amaze me how God can save somebody from a near-death experience. And as we learn about that airplane crash last week, 224 people died in that? One man walked away. His brother died in it. He was near an escape. The plane crashed, and he said he saw a crack in the door, as I was reading upon this there, to where the emergency door is. It had a crack in it. He shimmied through it. He walked a few feet, and then the plane blew up. He lived. You'd have to say God has plans for him, wouldn't you? I would. That is by the hair of your chinny chin chin. You know how sometimes you just don't believe everything you read? I think I'm there. I hate I listened the first time. COVID vaccinations are out, the new one's there. If you'd like one, they're saying that it fights against kidney damage. They're really pushing that. I'm going to say no thank you. I'm going to mind my own business and do my own thing. Y'all keep right on doing what you're doing. Russia is evacuating Iran. Hello. They're telling their people to get out, as we saw over the weekend. There's a conflict going. It's scary. As we watch this, will the United States be involved? We don't know yet. Israel has attacked Iran. All of this dealing with what they say they're building nuclear weapons. And they say they have paused it, but not enough is done to stop them from building them. And, of course, they're wanting the United States to get involved to help with this. Trump hasn't ruled it out, but he certainly hadn't said that he's going to do it. That is something to watch. It is very concerning. That could turn into, they've got friends here, they've got friends there, and they all join in. The next thing we know, World War III. We certainly don't want that. Where is the Ayatollah? No one knows at this point. Word is that he could have been injured, but it's not confirmed, as we saw many, many attacks over the weekend. Mike Huckabee said there was minor damage done to the U.S. Embassy in Tel Aviv. Mike Huckabee, I hadn't heard his name in a while. Sure hate that he quit doing that radio show that he was doing at noon every day. It was kind of like a Paul Harvey update. Sure missed that. We're getting ready for the morning show. We'll be right back with a close look at your weather forecast. Y'all don't rush off. We'll get you updated on the weather and what it's going to be happening. And Terry, you're right. We're going to talk about that during the morning show. This guy that did the murders in Minnesota was appointed by the vice president guy, that Tim Walz. Remember him running for president? He appointed this guy in the state of Minnesota. He's not an unknown. We'll talk about that on the way. We'll be right back in just a moment.
Hi, this is Nick at Doc's Toyota, and we are excited to put you in a new Toyota today. We have no dealer markup, no hidden fees, no hassle, and our inventory is always priced to move. Our top-notch sales department and first-class service after the sale guarantees you a fast and comfortable buying experience like you've never had. So come see why month after month, more and more customers have chose to buy from Doc's Toyota. So come see us here at Doc's Toyota in Philadelphia at docstoyota.com or on Facebook. And remember, there's no deal like a Doc's deal.
For over 40 years, you've been able to count on Watt Equipment in DeKalb, Mississippi. They've got your Massey Ferguson's brand new 23 up to 135 horse cab and air tractors. They've got all your hay equipment needs, all your bush hogs. If your tractor needs it, they got it. Also remember, they service all makes and models, whether it's green, orange, blue, red, or yellow. They can get your parts in, they can do your service on your equipment. Don't forget Watt Equipment, DeKalb, Mississippi.
Your forecast is brought to you by EMEPA.
Good morning. As we look at this, record highs. 1952, we had a record high of 100 today. It was a hot day. Back in 1917, as we look at this, it was a cool 52. Now, we're still waiting on, let me just go ahead and pull that. I don't know what's going on in Jackson here lately, but it's blank as the forecast hasn't been sent yet. But we go to Dero, Alabama. They're all over it this morning, up bright and early. They're expecting it to be 90 degrees in Demopolis. We'll see 87 in Birmingham. Anniston should make 88. And as we get over to Montgomery, Hankland, it'll be about 91 today as we look at that. The outlook here, the warmer temperatures deep across Mississippi. Look at this. It says you're going to be hot. You'll believe me as we look at this 7-day forecast now, as we spread the good word. Today should be 90 to 91, depending upon where you are, down to a 71 low tonight. Now, depending upon where you are, the forecast is given 60%, 70%. We are expecting rain showers to begin somewhere around 3 o'clock this afternoon and should go way after dark, up until about 10 o'clock. Now, we're expecting about 3. We should have periods of sunshine leading up to that during the day. But again, we got rain a-coming. As we look at Tuesday, a high of 90, still 70% chance of rain, and it's rain every day this week, which means, well, your lawnmower is going to be getting extra use next week. We've got 60, 50, 40, 50. Look at that, all the way through the weekend there. Highs going in the mid-90s, anywhere from 90 to 94 throughout the week. As we go another week into this, we'll go all the way to June 30th as we knock on July 4th day, 93, 91, 90. Look at that. Scattered thunderstorms each day. Nothing big, but chances of that. All right, as we go to the fishing forecast today, our friends at Clarkdale Superette tell us you get a line, I get a pole, and you can go on out around 4:30 this afternoon. Could get a little shower there between there and 6:30, but today, that's the best time to fish today. We'll have a minor time today at lunch from 10 o'clock until about 11 o'clock. Sunrise happened at 5:47 this morning. Sunset rolls in at 8 p.m. Now, what's happening out here in the Gulf of America? Absolutely nothing is the good news that we have for you. Nothing is expected for the next 7 days as we look at your hurricane forecast. That's good. Now, let's go back and take a look at radar of what's going on this morning as we pull up Doc's Toyota radar. Nothing in the great state of Mississippi. Now, we do have some areas of low-lying fog in those low-lying areas where it's kind of low. You've driven through them. As we go east here, we get near Montgomery, Uniontown, Alabama, Selma. The fog is thick, thick, thick. And as you get closer right in here, it's going to be near Orville. Let me pinpoint exactly where this is. It's on the outskirts of Selma. That's Cahaba, Alabama. Fog, and you can't see. As we glance back across this, a little bit over near Denton, Texas. As we get into Oklahoma, we got some fog, and always thick as you get up near Knoxville and Asheville and those areas. Gadsden, Alabama, with a little bit. Otherwise, we look pretty good there. No rain to mention some slight showers to the west of Tupelo this morning that's wetting a few gardens. Nothing bad at all. Already 6:53 as we get ready. Greg's in camouflage this morning. He's going to be filling in for Greg. We're going to find out about Stuff the Bus. No, that's not how many people you can get in it, but we'll give you details. That's all coming up this morning, right around the corner. Aubrey's going to be here. You tried to fit 12 people in a Toyota truck once. He's acting like he didn't. You remember that where you couldn't reach the gear shift and somebody had to shift the gears for you? We've all done it back in the day. Now you can't find anybody to know what to do with that third little lever in the floor. We're coming back. Welcome and good morning to you right now. 70 as you're waking up at the Scotty Ray Report.